This is your stimulus package review for October 16, 2020. Please like and subscribe at the bottom of the page. In a recent article, second stimulus check: can a new payment happen in October? Negotiations with Nancy Pelosi are still ongoing, but Donald Trump faces a race against time to get a financial support package agreed upon before the election. A lot has changed since the first rounds of stimulus checks were deposited in mid-April. Over 200,000 Americans have now tragically died of COVID-19. Millions have lost their job, and the president has contracted and apparently recovered from the virus. And yet, less than 3 weeks away from the election, negotiations over a second wave of economic impact payments are still ongoing. Regardless of who wins on November 3, the election will almost certainly add an extra delay to the process of agreeing financial relief for those suffering due to the pandemic. The coming weeks will be crucial if a deal is to be struck, but how likely are another round of stimulus payments before the end of the month? Trump pushing for stimulus checks ahead of election as the 2020 presidential election draws near. The incumbent is still lagging behind in many of the polls. One carried out by Opinium Research found that 57% of likely voters intend to vote for challenger Joe Biden, while only 40% say they will back Donald Trump. With a huge deficit to overturn, the president knows that his campaign needs a substantial boost. Just over a week after publicly ending negotiations via Twitter, Trump now appears desperate to pass a bill providing a second round of stimulus check to get cash into Americans' pockets ahead of the election. He had initially refused to commit more than $1.6 trillion to the financial relief package, but after his $1.8 trillion offer was rebuffed by Nancy Pelosi, he has today said that he would be willing to go even higher. The president's rapid climb down suggests that he is very willing to compromise to make a deal. Good news for Americans hoping to receive a second round of financial support in October. This is why Nancy Pelosi is holding out for greater concessions. But while the president has upped his offer considerably, he is still some way short of the $2.2 trillion bill that passed the House of Representatives months ago. Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi seemed determined to hold out for a broader stimulus package, but she risks alienating the electorate if she refuses to budge. Trump already attempted to paint the Democrat as selfish, and that pressure will only build as negotiations wear on. A report in the Washington Post claims that Pelosi has dismissed the White Hawk offer as a slush fund designed to curry favor with voters without addressing the underlying economic problems. The spot between the president and the Speaker of the House continues to dominate negotiations, and Trump has again claimed that Pelosi is deliberately delaying the agreement for political gain. Mitch McConnell and Senate Republicans are holding fast to their fiscal conservative principles even during a worldwide pandemic. Even if the president and the House are able to come to some agreement before the end of October, any bill will still have to pass through the Republican place in it, something that is far from a given. Large-scale government spending is antithetical to Republican economic ideology, and the Senate would much prefer a smaller, more targeted bill. Clearly, this dampens the potential for Americans receiving direct payments before the election, but once again, we at Stimulus Package Update urge these congressional leaders to pass stimulus to help the American people.